Hey, what's up, Solarpreneurs? Today we're going to talk about a costly mistake I made that lost me a deal last week. Hopefully, y'all can learn from my mistakes and some of the stories behind that. But first, welcome to the show. My name's Taylor Armstrong. We're here to help you close more deals, generate more leads and referrals, hopefully have a much better time in the solar industry. I'm actually just coming back from a closed deal myself. We're 11 o'clock, 10:50 at night, so apologize if I'm sounding a little bit exhausted. Got out of 3 appointments today. I guess 2.5. But hey, that's part of the solar coaster. That's part of the grind. You got to work till the job's done, right? Job's not finished till the docs are signed, till the welcome calls are complete, until you have the utility bill. You got to make sure you get everything in. So that's what I'm coming from. Okay, but before we get into the costly mistake I made, just wanted to thank everyone that has supported this podcast over the years. I looked at some stats today, and this should be the 449th episode. And that's absolutely insane. 400, almost 450 episodes we've been at this. I don't know if I'm crazy. I don't know how long this is going to go. Who knows? Maybe we'll only do 10 more episodes. Hopefully we keep it going till 1,000. Okay, but just wanted to thank all of our listeners because I was looking at some stats and check this out. There's currently around 3.2 million podcasts out there. And super interesting, it says 44% of podcasts have less than 3 episodes. Crazy, 44% have less than 3. And then out of that, only 720,000 podcasts have more than 10 episodes. And then out of 720,000, only 156,000 are releasing a weekly episode. So we're coming at you with 2 episodes. I don't know how many podcasts are doing that out there, but I definitely would not be doing this if y'all weren't sharing the show, if you weren't reaching out, saying how much it's helped you, if you weren't encouraging me and, other guests to get on the show. So just really appreciate for all those that have left us comments, reviews, shared the show. It means so much to us, and that's really what has allowed this podcast to keep it going for nearly 450 episodes. So appreciate you. Thank you so much. And if you haven't, feel free to leave us a review or share the podcast. That's the price of admission. That's all we're asking. Okay. And so back to the costly mistake. So here's the scoop. Last week, I closed the deal. It was just a single, she's like 32, I think, just a single lady, single girl, had a couple roommates, and this deal was a complete laydown. Like probably the easiest deal I've had in a long time. But if you have been in solar for a while, you will find that sometimes the deals that appear to be laydowns and that give you little resistance, a lot of times those ones can come back to bite you. And I did probably make some mistakes because it was such a laydown. I think I did possibly skip some steps, probably went through the contract a little bit quicker than I should have, was a little less thorough. So lesson learned from that. Hey, but the major mistake I made, and here's the theme of the episode, topic of the episode, is, and spoiler alert, this deal did cancel today, actually, the time I'm recording this. So a big reason why this deal called me today and canceled is because I did not get all the parties involved. And by parties, I mean that, come to find out, this girl, she co-signed with her parents, and she, over the weekend, she had a conversation with them. And even though she was the one paying the bills, she was the one living in the house, her parents talked her out of it. They were on the title, and they just basically said, "You're not doing this," and discouraged her. So she canceled. So lesson learned, make sure you get every party involved that needs to be, right? Because if you do not, so often these will come back to bite you. And especially when you're closing older folks, you have retired folks, you have people that seem like maybe they're a little too quick to agree. Those are all red flags. Those are all signs that these people probably are going to consult with others. Okay, they're social buyers. And so just make sure if you do see people just really eager to sign, quick to it, and especially if they're like the only one in the home, you got to keep in mind that these people often will consult with other parties. Okay, and so two things I should have done is, and this was probably the biggest mistake, is I actually noticed in our knocking app, okay, and I'm using Solar Scout, which is one of our sponsors right now. But if you're using Solar Scout or that would for sure have it, or even a lot of other knocking apps that show the homeowner data, I clicked on the homeowner data. It shows who's on the title, and it did show her parents on there. I did notice this before I went in the deal, but my mistake was I didn't bring it up to her. I'm just like, okay, this is a complete load lay down. I'm not going to say anything. It's a done deal. What I should have done is realize that, hey, there's more people on the title here. Do these people need to be brought in? Are you going to talk with them about who are these people, right? First of all, ask who they are. Then finding out it's the parents. Hey, are you going to consult with your parents about this? Is this something you guys talk about things together for the home? Maybe she would have said yes. Maybe she would have said no. But it would have given me at least a chance at possibly getting in front of the parents, because now I lose control. She talks to them and they kill the deal. All right. And then, yeah, just the second thing in general, I should have at the end of the deal just done a better job at wrapping it up, asking more questions. I think I could have maybe through the discovery process figured out, hey, is there anyone else that needs to be involved in this decision? Which, you know, a younger lady, younger girl would have been a smart thing to do. So if you see younger people, if you see older people, I guess that's the two different age groups. If they're really old or if they're really young, then there's a much higher chance that they're going to consult with other people, whether it's their parents, whether it's their kids. Funny how the roles are reversed. The younger are going to talk to their parents, older are going to talk to their kids. But make sure you check for other decision makers. Hey, and then the flip side, continuing this story, here's where I did apply the lessons. So hopefully if you have mistakes you make and reasons that people cancel, take note of that, because you can recover and you can make it a learning experience instead of just making it a loss. And so what I did today, I actually had 2 chances to redeem myself. And I'm going to play part of a recording of one of them. And funny enough, this was actually the neighbor of the younger girl that canceled on me. Hey, because I went into this appointment today, ended up closing it. But you'll hear in this recording shortly, she had to talk to her brother, who was actually one of the trustees of the home. The home was their mom, and then she died, left to the trustees, which was this lady, and then her brother. And then the second one, I didn't get a recording of this one, but this was a lady that her husband was in the Navy and he was actually deployed. And this one, I guess I was like blessed from God above on this one, but she said that she wasn't going to be able to talk to her husband. Her husband, right as we're pulling up the docs, I kid you not, she gets a Facebook Messenger call from her husband on the ship he was on. And when this was the first time she talked to him, and I think weeks, she said that she didn't even think she'd be able to talk to him. Because before it was just like through email. So this was definitely like a blessing. Okay, I don't think this is going to happen again. But it gave us the opportunity to now talk to her husband. I was able to explain the whole thing, keep control of it, figure out what his concerns were, and then just really ask, hey, is there any reason you wouldn't want your wife to start this process or get involved in this? And just check for their concerns, because a lot of times I think I see it where people just explain it to the other party or to the other decision maker, but they don't even check to see what they think about it, right? So the key with this is when you are explaining it to other people who are going to have a strong influence, you got to ask them. You want to keep it in control. You want to keep the ball in your court. So you explain it and say, hey, so knowing what you know now that I explain it to you, would you recommend, is this something that you would recommend to your daughter to do, to your son to do, to your mom to do? Do you see any reason why you don't think she should get involved in something like that versus staying with their current situation? Hey, you got to isolate their objections and check to make sure they actually overcame them. Because if not, they're just going to say, okay, leave this as a paperwork. Then they're going to share their true opinions when you leave, which may or may not be good. All right. So you need to tackle it head on when you're with these people. Okay. So I'm going to share with you a little clip of how I was able to tackle this. And I felt like it went pretty well. Okay. But this is how I handled it. Check it out.
Do you think if you called your brother, do you think he'd pick up right now and we could?
I'm not sure, because he just came back last night from a trip to Canada. So, I could check.
Okay. Just because that way while I'm here, we could answer any questions he had,
Right, yeah. He may prefer to talk later, but...
Okay, so she ended up calling her brother, right? And then the line that's been working really well for me, and I actually use this when I'm setting appointments, works really well as well, is just, you heard me say it. Hey, if you called your brother, do you think he'd pick up right now? Hey, and I like this because you're not saying, hey, call your brother, let's go ahead and see if he can talk right now. Hey, which a lot of people are like, no, I'll call him later, do this, that. But I like this because it's kind of like indirectly squeezing your way in there, getting your foot in the door to them agreeing that their, spouse, whatever, brother, loved one would answer. And then from there, if they say, yeah, he would answer, then you got him. Right. So it's kind of the same concept of, I don't know if you do this when you all are booking appointments. It's like giving them the option, hey, are you typically more afternoons or evenings? And then they say evenings, be like, okay, does 7 o'clock work? You're catching them. They're basically feeding you ammo here, right? It's like you're catching them in the act. So this is why I like this, because you're not saying, hey, call your brother right now. You're just asking them if they would pick up. And this line has been working really well, just setting appointments and getting other parties involved. Right. And then, yeah, you hear me just say, yeah, well, if he would answer, let's call him real quick. Then we could just answer any questions he had while I'm here. Right. So she ends up calling him. I'll play just a little clip of that. Goes on for a while. So I explain the whole process, but let me explain a quick clip. Play a quick clip of that.
Don, how's it going? You know what? I'm calling because I don't think I mentioned this last night, but I met today with a young man who, is selling a solar installation package.
Okay, and so this is exactly why you should be in control of talking to other folks, because look, she's already butching the explanation, right? Saying, hey, he's selling solar. Okay, and like when you're setting appointments too, I guarantee you, if you're setting up appointments with the wife, they're going to their husbands and saying, hey, someone's coming to sell us solar. Do you want it? Right? These people, they're not trained in the dark arts of selling solar, of explaining to people. So we need to take matters into our own hands and make sure that we can control that process, right? So that's why we're there.
For you to talk, it sounds like you're busy, because otherwise, as co-owner, I think it's a good arrangement, John, but are you interested to talk to this young man now, or would you prefer to do so later? It is called... He lives right here, right now, and if this is not the best time for you, I understand, because I'm sort of springing this on you.
Well, the thing is there's a lot of different financial arrangements they made, and I got a couple of bits in mind. I was never quite sure, quite honestly, when I got it at the end, if I was getting a good deal or not, but I wanted to get in before they changed the rules. Mm-hmm. But I'm kind of in a different situation because I purchased mine in cash. So
That's what I read.
It's paid for, and then we don't, and so it greatly reduced my power bill. We basically don't pay for power at all anymore. But we had to put one bunch of money up front. Maybe if he, I assume he's going to put together like some sort of proposal and it's legal with you or email it to you, and then maybe if you could send it to me, I could look through it and see.
Yeah. How about if I hand the phone over, because we did review a proposal, and then I should be able to email it from you because it came up on my phone.
I could email it.
But at any rate, I'll hand the phone over, okay?
Okay, but I can only talk like 10 minutes, because I really.
And John, I don't want to put you under pressure. If this is not a good time for you to understand, so
this is Taylor, John. I was just going to give you a super quick rundown if you have a couple minutes. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so you can hear what went on, and I don't want to drag it on too much, but basically comes a point where you got to take control, right? We're going back and forth a little bit. Hey, I don't know if this is a good time. So I eventually just had to jump in there. Otherwise, it was getting to the point where he might have been like, oh, I don't want to talk to him right now. Hey, so that's the key. You want these people to put it on speakerphone. You want to just jump in when you can, take control of it. Just say, hey, I'll just give you the rundown, the quick version. And then I explained the process to him. And he had his questions, concerns, probably went on for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But got to the point where I emailed him over the proposal, explained it all pretty in depth to him, all the common questions, concerns. And it just gives me a way higher chance of this deal actually sticking. Is it going to get installed for sure? I don't know. Maybe the brother will come back and, overthink things. He did buy his systems. That's another thing. You have to get these people that out of the mindset that, hey, there are different ways of going solar. This is why for your sister and her situation, this is why we chose that for her. And this is why it's beneficial to her versus buying. Okay, because that's another thing. If you don't explain to people, they think that the way they went solar is the best way, the only way to do it. A lot of times is what I've experienced. Okay, so this allowed me to get the deal in, to make it way stickier and hopefully prevent it from canceling. And then the other one, similar situation. Tonight, these deals were practically back to back. Close this one at 2:00. Close the Navy one at 6:00. And so, very similar situations. I had to get the husband on the phone. He's on the ship, had to walk through everything, answer his questions, and just solidified it way more than if I had just kept it a one-legger deal, even though I could have closed both and could have just been like, oh, I hope they don't cancel. Let's run away. No, you need to tackle these problems head on. You want to make sure you stay in front of anything that could keep that deal from going to install. Okay, so I hope that helps someone out there. Make sure you're presenting to all parties. Don't make the mistake like I did of just talking to the person that's not in charge. And remember, if it is too easy of a close, then it could be too good to be true, right? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. That applies to pretty much everything except for solar. Right. But yeah, make sure if someone's like a lay down close, hey, you gotta go. Make sure you're not skipping steps. Make sure you're going in depth, and make sure there's no one else involved in the decision making process. Because if they close that easy, then a lot of times they can be talked out of their decision just as easy as when they sign the documents. So I hope that helps. Stay tuned. We got some exciting episodes coming out for y'all. Thanks again for being a loyal listener, and we'll see you on the next ones. Peace.